Alright guys, here we're solving an equation that involves radicals. So the first step with these is to get the radical by itself. In this case, there's one on both sides, but they're both by themselves, so that's okay. The next thing is that we know by now that to get rid of a square root, you square it. They sort of cancel each other out, and we've kind of gone through that. So here this is a square root. So to get rid of the square root, I'm going to square both sides. Okay. Well, the nice thing about having a square root on both sides, just a square root on both sides, is that the square root is gone on both sides once you square it. So we just have 8x minus 7 equals x plus 11. Then we'll solve this like normal. So I'm going to subtract x on both sides. We get 7x minus 7 equals 11. Then we're going to add 7 to both sides. So we get 7x equals 18. And then we'll divide both sides by 7. Okay, and we get 18 over 7. Now, you do need to make sure, I'm not going to run through this one just because it's a little bit longer to check, but you do need to plug your answer back in and make sure that it checks out. So I would put this 18 over 7 back in for x in both of these and make sure that both sides equal each other. That's just because sometimes when you square both sides of an equation, it does change it a little bit. All right, let's look at another radical equation. So on this one, again, you want to get the radical by itself. It already is, which is nice. So it's a square root, so we'll go ahead and square both sides. All right, so on the left side, we just get what's under the radical, which is 30x minus 15. On the right side, we have to square this out, and remember that that means x plus 7 times x plus 7. So we need to FOIL that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have x times x is x squared. X times 7 for the outside is 7x. The inside is also 7x. And then we have last 7 times 7, we get 49. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and combine my like terms. So we have 30x minus 15, nothing to combine on the left side. On the right side, we have x squared, and then 7x and 7x gives me 14x plus 49 over here. Now, remember that when you have x squared in an equation, you need to get everything over to that side so that you can factor it. So I'm going to subtract 30x to move it over here. And I'm also going to add this 15. So these cancel, which leaves me with 0. That's what you want. And we have x squared. 14 minus 30 is negative 16x. And then here, 49 and 15 gives me 64. Okay. Now we need to factor this. So what multiplies to give us 64 and adds up to negative 16 is negative 8 and negative 8. Set those both equal to 0. X minus 8 equals 0. X minus 8 equals 0. You're going to get the same thing on both of these, of course, because they're the same. So we really just get x equals 8 for our answer. Okay. Now, you do need to go check this. So I'm going to plug this in so that we can check our answer. So our original equation is square root of 30x minus 15, and that was equal to x plus 7. So we're going to take this 8, put it in for the for the x, and make sure that it works out. So we've got 30 times 8 minus 15 under the radical. And then on the left side, we're going to have 8 plus 7, and we want to make sure these are equal. So over here, 30 times 8 is 240 minus 15. And on the right side, 8 plus 7, of course, is just 15. Then 240 minus 15 is 225. We still got 15. Now, the square root of 225 is 15. The other side equals 15. They're equal to each other. That's good. That means 8 is your final answer.